How you guys doing? It is Wednesday, September 16th, 2020 out here in this quarantine. I'm James Sims, and today I'm going to take you through yesterday's games and, of course, what to look forward to today. There was a lot going on, but first I'm going to jump into playoff basketball, starting off with the NBA bubble. In the first game of last night, the number 5 seed Miami Heat were able to beat the 3 seed Boston Celtics 117 to 114 to take the 1-0 series lead in the Eastern Conference Finals. Very impressive game, and of course this would go down to the end. It would get sent into overtime. The Heat would go up on a Jimmy Butler and one, and then when Jason Tatum tried to dunk it on the other end, Bam Adebayo had probably one of the clutchest blocks I've ever seen in a playoff basketball game. But nonetheless, like I said, the Miami Heat would take yet another win. I think they've only lost one game in the playoffs so far. Yes, right now I think they're sitting at 9-1. I might be wrong. Yeah, they're sitting at 9-1 for the year. But first, let me get into what the Celtics did off the bench. Their point guard Brad Wanamaker finished with 11 points, 3 rebounds, 6 assists, and 5 steals in 25 minutes. That was the free throw king. And then out of their starters, their shooting guard Jaylen Brown would finish with 17 points and 5 rebounds in 44 minutes. Their elite point guard Kemba Walker would finish with 19 points, 3 rebounds, and 6 assists, as he shot 6 for 19 from the field in 43 minutes, shooting 1 for 9 from 3 and 6 for 7 from the line. Marcus Smart would actually have a pretty good game, too. He finished with 26 points and 3 rebounds. He shot 9 for 18 from the field, 6 for 13 from 3. And Jason Tatum, the Boston Celtics elite power forward, would finish the game with 30 points, 14 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 steals, and 2 blocks, as he shot 10 for 24 from the field in 43 minutes. Out of those 10 field goals, 4 of them were from 3, as he shot 4 for 12, and he made all 6 of his free throws. Now I'm jumping to Miami, looking at their bench. Their shooting guard of the bench, Tyler Hero, out of Kentucky, would finish with 12 points, 11 rebounds, and 9 assists in 40 minutes, as he shot 5 for 10 from the field. Bam Adebayo, out of their starters, he would finish with 18 points, 6 rebounds, 9 assists, and a couple of blocks in 43 minutes. As, like I said earlier, he probably had one of the most clutch blocks I've ever seen at the end of overtime. It was like pretty close to that, and he got fouled, and he had to shoot and he made a free throw to put them up 3. Jimmy Butler, their small forward, would finish with 20 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, and a couple of steals in 43 minutes. Jay Crowder, their other forward, would finish with 22 points and 5 rebounds in 39 minutes. Goran Dragic would be their biggest performer of the night, as he finished with 29 points, 7 rebounds, and 4 assists, shooting 11 for 19 from the field in 39 minutes, 3 for 6 from 3, and he made all 4 of his free throws. Like I said, with this series, the Miami Heat jump out to a 1-0 series lead over the 3 seed Boston Celtics, and now they are 3 wins away from clinching a spot in the NBA Finals. Jumping out to the second game of the night, the 3 seed Denver Nuggets were able to beat the 2nd seed Los Angeles Clippers 104-89 in Game 7 to cap off a comeback from down 3-1 in the series for the second time in the playoffs, which has never happened. But with this comeback, the Denver Nuggets will advance to play in the Western Conference Finals against LeBron James and the Lakers. And with the Los Angeles Clippers being eliminated last night, only 4 teams remain. And this would be the last game of a very impressive season for the Los Angeles Clippers, the first year of all these players being together. And I think they did a pretty good job, even though they did kind of choke this series away. I think the Clippers had an amazing ride up until now. Off the bench, their 6th man of the year, or 2020 NBA 6th man of the year, Montrezl Harrell, would finish with 20 points and 3 rebounds, shooting 7 for 10 from the field in his very last game with the Clippers in the season, the last game of his 6th man of the year season. JaMychal Green would finish with 11 points on the day for the Clippers. And going to the starters, Patrick Beverley, their point guard, finished with 11 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, and 3 steals on the night in 30 minutes. And then their 2 elite wings, just for some reason, they just weren't there. Paul George, their elite shooting guard, would finish with 10 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, a steal, and a block with 5 turnovers in 38 minutes, as he shot 4 for 16 from the field, 2 for 11 from 3, and he made his only free throw attempt on the night. And GOAT-level small forward Kawhi Leonard in 44 minutes, would finish with 14 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals, and a block. He shot 6 for 22 from the field, 2 for 7 from 3. And Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, neither one of them made a field goal in the fourth quarter, if that kind of adds insult to injury. Jumping to the Nuggets, it was mainly just their starters getting it going for them. Jerry Grant would have a really good defensive night as he was put on Kawhi Leonard and Paul George for the majority of the game, but he would finish with 14 points and 5 rebounds on the day. Gary Harris, their shooting guard, would finish with 14 points and 6 rebounds, with shooting 6 for 11 from the field. Nikola Jokic, the Denver Nuggets elite center, would finish with 16 points, 22 rebounds, 13 assists, 2 steals, and 3 blocks. He had 5 turnovers on the day, but he had a really good game. He played 40 minutes. He shot 5 for 13 from the field, 0 for 4 from 3, but he made all 6 of his free throw attempts. And I think the performance of the night went to Jamal Murray. A star is born. By the beginning of the next season, he will be one of my elite performers. You can guarantee that. So he would play 45 minutes. And in the 45 minutes for the Nuggets, he would finish with 40 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists on the night as he had 5 turnovers. He would shoot 15 for 26 from the field while scoring 40 points, 6 for 13 from 3, and he made all 4 of his free throws. With this win, like I said, the Denver Nuggets will clinch a spot with the Los Angeles Lakers. And, of course, I'll do a preview for this today as well. With that said, that's what the NBA is looking like. But today, there's no games coming on. It doesn't start till Thursday, and that's when game 2, of the Heat and Celtics is going to play in the Eastern Conference Finals. Now, really quickly, I'm going to jump to the WNBA bubble just to let you see what's going on out there. In terms of yesterday, the Connecticut Sun were able to beat the Chicago Sky 94-81 behind Alyssa Thomas's 28 points, 13 rebounds, and 8 assists on the night. And the Phoenix Mercury, led by Diana Taurasi, would get their 13th win of the season against the Mystics, beating them 85-84 as Petty saved them with a buzzer-beating 3. Diana Taurasi would finish with 23 points and 6 assists. Leilani Mitchell for Washington would finish with 25 points, but the Mercury would be the better team. There's no WNBA action today. It does resume on Thursday, but in terms of today, there's no WNBA action. And for right now, jumping into the Stanley Cup bubble, the New York Islanders were able to beat the Tampa Bay Lightning 2-1 in second overtime to get the victory over the Tampa Bay Lightning, for at least to keep the series alive, you know what I'm saying? But overall, all in all, it was a great game beginning to end, and it would be Jordan Eberle, with the assist from Anders Lee, by the way, to give the New York Islanders this win. And they have a chance to come back from down 3-1. But as of right now, the Lightning are still 1 game away from clinching a spot into the Stanley Cup final after their 2 overtime outing. And going to today, there's no Stanley Cup action as the Eastern Conference Stanley Cup final will resume on Thursday. And really quick before I jump out to baseball, 1 game to let people know of. PSG, they're having their second Ligue 1 game of the season. They played Marseille last week, but then 3 of their players got sent off because someone said something racist to Neymar, and then there was a whole brawl, but whatever. But PSG is going to play Metz today for their second matchup to try to see if they can turn their woes around. And see if they can jump back and see if they can come back with a better response. You know what I'm saying? Not much soccer action yesterday, just to let you know through that. But right now I'm going to jump out to the MLB as it is Wednesday baseball. Right now I'm going to take you from the East and start out there. I'm starting in Tampa Bay. And the Tampa Bay Rays were able to beat the defending champions Washington Nationals 6-1 last night. Really impressive performance. Yarbrough would get the win for Tampa Bay. Curtis would get the start, but Yarbrough would pitch almost 6 innings of relief, only allowing 1 run and striking out 5. And Anibal Sanchez would pick up his 5th loss of the season. For the Washington Nationals, their left fielder Juan Soto would finish 1 for 4 with a run. And then their third baseman, Carter Kieboom, would finish 2 for 3 with a walk. And their second baseman, Luis Garcia, would go on to finish 2 for 4 on the day. For Tampa Bay, their third baseman, Brousseau, would finish 2 for 4 with a run. Mike Brousseau had a pretty good game for him. Lau would hit his 3rd home run. This is Nate Lowe. He'd finish 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs and a run. Their center fielder, Kevin Kiermaier, would finish 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs and a run. Just a good game overall for the Rays, and with this win, the Rays are now 31-17 as the defending champs. Washington Nationals dropped to 17-19 on the season. Jumping out to Miami, the Miami Marlins hosted the Boston Red Sox and got completely shut out in 9 innings. Houck would get the start for the Red Sox. He would allow no earned runs, striking out 7 batters in 5 innings. Sandy Alcantara, fresh off his last appearance, only allowed 1 earned run in 6 innings, striking out 5, and he picked up the loss. Like I said, not much going for Miami, but Corey Dickerson did have 2 hits for them. He finished 2 for 4. For Boston, their third baseman, Rafael Devers, to finish 1 for 4 with a run. There's shortstop Xander Bogart to go 2 for 4 with a run. With this win, the Boston Red Sox are now 18-31 as the Miami Marlins drop to 24-22 after getting shut out. Jump into Philly. The Philadelphia Phillies took on the New York Mets and beat them 4-1 as Jake Arrieta picked up his 4th win of the season. He would allow 1 earned run in a little over 5 innings pitched, striking out 4 batters on the way. For the New York Mets, their center fielder Brandon Nimmo would finish 2 for 5 with an RBI and a run. He had his 7th home run of the season in the 5th inning. That was the only run that the Mets scored. Their elite designated hitter Pete Alonso would go 0 for 4 on the day. Their third baseman J.D. Davis would finish 2 for 5 as well, and their left fielder Jeff McNeil would go 3 for 4. They just weren't able to score a lot of runs. They had 11 hits to go with their 1 run, but they just couldn't get it all together. And then for the Phillies, their shortstop Didi Gregorius to finish 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs on a run as he had his 8th home run in the 5th inning off former AL Cy Young Rick Porcello, who picked up his 5th loss of the season, by the way. And the Phillies' elite right fielder Bryce Harper would finish 0 for 4 on the day. But with this win, the Phillies are now 24-23, and the Mets are now 21-27. Speaking of New York, the Yankees hosted the Toronto Blue Jays and beat them 20-6 at home. Big win for them as Danny Garcia gets the win. He would allow 3 earned runs in 7 innings pitched, striking out 6. Looking at the Blue Jays for how they did, their shortstop, Bo Bichette, would go 2 for 5 with an RBI. Their elite designated hitter, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., would hit his 7th home run of the season as he finished 3 for 5 with an RBI and 2 runs. Lourdes Gurriel, their left fielder, would finish with his 8th home run of the season as he finished 3 for 4 with 2 RBIs and 2 runs. Looking at the Yankees now, their second baseman, DJ LeMahieu, would finish 4 for 6 with 5 RBIs and 3 runs. He had a pretty big game as he would end up hitting his 7th home run of the season. The Yankees' first baseman, Luke Voit, would hit 2 home runs to take over the MLB lead in home runs. He now has 18 home runs on the season as last night he finished 3 for 5 with 5 RBIs and 2 runs. Their third baseman, DJ Urshela, would finish 3 for 4 with 3 runs on the day. Their right fielder, Clint Frazier, would go 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs and 3 runs as he hit his 6th home run of the season. Their catcher, Gary Sanchez, would finish 1 for 4 with 4 RBIs and 2 runs as Gary Sanchez hit his 8th home run in the 4th inning. A lot of runs for the Yankees in a very historic game for them. With this win, the Yankees are 27-21. As remember, they had probably one of the best starts of the season. Then they dropped back to being 500. I want to say they've either won 6 straight games or 6 of their last 7, because the Yankees have been crazy hot as of recent. I'm sorry, 7 of their last 9. But still. Jumping out to Baltimore, the Baltimore Orioles hosted the Atlanta Braves, and the Braves were able to get the win as Darren O'Day picked up his 4th win in relief. Huascar Ynoa would get the start for the Braves as he'd allowed no earned runs in 4 innings pitched, striking out 5. And then Eshelman would pick up his first loss for the Baltimore Orioles, and he's had a pretty good season. He allowed 2 earned runs in 3 innings pitched, striking out 4. For the Orioles, their shortstop Jose Iglesias would finish 2 for 4 with an RBI. He had the only RBI of the day for the Orioles, and he had 2 of their 4 hits. He had a pretty good game. For the Atlanta Braves, their elite center fielder, Ronald Acuna Jr., would finish 0 for 3 as he walked twice and struck out once, and he still had a run on the day. The Braves' elite first baseman, Freddie Freeman, would finish 3 for 5 with 2 RBIs and a run. Adam Duvall, their left fielder, would go 1 for 5 with an RBI and a run. He hit his 15th home run of the season. Designated hitter Marcell Ozuna would finish 2 for 4 with an RBI and a run. Travis d'Arnaud would finish 2 for 4, and Austin Riley, their third baseman, would finish 2 for 4. With this win, the Atlanta Braves are 29-20, and the Baltimore Orioles are 21-27 out in the American League, or in the American League East. Really quickly, I'm going to take you out west to show you what games transpired out there. Starting out in Houston, the Houston Nationals are able to beat the Texas Rangers 4-1. As Urquidy would pick up his first win. He would allow one earned run in 7 innings pitched, striking out 7. For the Texas Rangers, not much going. Their left fielder Solak would finish 1 for 3 with a run. For the Houston Astros, their elite second baseman Jose Altuve would go 0 for 3 with a run in his return. George Springer, their center fielder, would go 1 for 4 with an RBI and 2 runs. Alex Bregman, their elite third baseman, would go 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs. And then just going along with great pitching with this win, the Houston Astros are now 24-24. Presley would pick up his 10th save of the season, and right now the Texas Rangers are 17-31 on the season. Looking out to looking out to Colorado, the Colorado Rockies hosted the Oakland Athletics and beat them 3-1. Senzatella picked up his 4th win of the season. As he pitched a complete game, he would allow 1 earned run, striking out 3 batters in 9 innings pitched. Manea would pick up his 3rd loss for the A's as he gave up 3 earned runs in almost 6 innings pitched, striking out 7. Looking out to the A's, their designated hitter Lamb would go 1 for 3 with a run, and Laureano would go 2 for 3. Not much going, and Tony Kemp would get the only RBI of the day. For the Colorado Rockies, their elite third baseman Nolan Arenado would finish 1 for 3 with a run on the day. Their first baseman Josh Fuentes would go 2 for 2 with an RBI and a run. Their catcher Elias Diaz would finish 1 for 3 with 2 RBIs on a run. He hit his first home run of the season. With this win, the Rockies are 22-25, and with this loss, the A's are now 30-19 out west. Staying out here, the San Diego Padres hosted the Dodgers, and the Dodgers were able to beat them 3-1 off of revenge for their last game. As Gonsolin picked up his first win of the season as the Dodgers starter, Zach Davies picked up his 3rd loss. He's now 7-3. He allowed 3 earned runs in 6 innings pitched, striking out 5, and Gonsolin would allow 1 earned run in 7 innings, striking out 2 on the day. For San Diego, their elite shortstop Fernando Tatis would go 0 for 4 on the day. Their elite third baseman Manny Machado would go 1 for 4. Not much great hitting going on for the Padres, but their left fielder, Jurickson Profar, would go 2 for 3 with a run on the day. Looking at the Dodgers, their elite right fielder, Mookie Betts, would go 2 for 4 with a run. Their designated hitter, Justin Turner, would go 3 for 4 with an RBI and a run. Their elite first baseman, Cody Bellinger, would go 1 for 4 with an RBI. And their third baseman, Edwin Rios, would hit his 4th home run of the season as he finished 1 for 3 with an RBI and a run. With this win, the Dodgers still hold on to the most wins in the major leagues with a 34-15 record on the season, and the Padres now dropped to the 2nd best record in the National League with a 32-18 record. Jumping out to the other side of LA. Going out to Anaheim, the Diamondbacks were able to beat the Angels at Anaheim 9-8. As they were able to get they scored 7 runs in the first 3 innings. They scored 9 in the first 4 to get an 8-1 lead in the 4th inning. And the Angels would come back, within the Arizona Diamondbacks would go right back above with a home run from David Peralta, which kind of saved their win. By the way, for the Angels, not much. There was a lot of good hitting. First off, their second baseman David Fletcher would go 3 for 5 with an RBI and a run. Their first baseman Jared Walsh would hit his 6th home run of the season, and he's been a really hot bat as of late. He finished 3 for 5 with 3 RBIs and 2 runs. Their GOAT level center fielder Mike Trout would go 1 for 4 on the day. Their elite third baseman Anthony Rendon would go 1 for 5 with an RBI and a run. Their future Hall of Famer Albert Pujols went 0 for 4 with a walk. Their left fielder Justin Upton went 1 for 4 with 2 RBIs and a run as he hit his 6th home run of the season. And their shortstop Andrelton Simmons finished 2 for 3 with an RBI and a run. Jumping out to Arizona, their first baseman Christian Walker would go 1 for 3 with 2 runs on the day. Their right fielder Cole Calhoun would go 3 for 5 with 5 RBIs and 2 runs. He had 2 home runs on the day. David Peralta, their left fielder, would go 2 for 4, and their catcher Carson Kelly would finish 3 for 4 on the day with an RBI and 2 runs. With this win, the Diamondbacks are 18-31, and the Angels are now 20-29. And the Seattle Mariners and the San Francisco Giants got postponed. I don't even know why I say Seahawks anymore. But last but not least, jumping out central, first the Cincinnati Reds hosted the Pittsburgh Pirates and were able to beat them 4-1 as Lorenzen picked up his 2nd win of the season. He would allow 1 earned run in 5 innings pitched, striking out 6 batters along the way. And looking out to the Pirates, now what's going on, the only RBI would go to their first baseman, Colin Moran. Looking at to Cincinnati, their left fielder Akiyama will go 2 for 4. Nick Castellanos, their right fielder, would go 2 for 4 with a run on the day. With this win, the Cincinnati Reds are 24-26, and the Pirates are 14-33. Moving out to Detroit, the Detroit Tigers were able to blank the Kansas City Royals completely 6-0 after scoring through 5 of their runs in the first 3 innings. Boyd would pick up his second win of the season for the Detroit Tigers as he would allow no earned runs and under 6 innings pitched, striking out 5 batters on the day. Not much going for the Kansas City Royals, but Whit Merrifield will go 2 for 5, and Salvador Perez, their catcher, would go 2 for 4. For the Detroit Tigers, their shortstop, Willie Castro, would go 3 for 5 with an RBI and 2 runs. He had his 4th home run of the season. Their future designated hitter, their future Hall of Fame designated hitter, Miguel Cabrera, former AL Triple Crown winner and MVP, would go 2 for 4 with an RBI and a run. He had his 6th home run of the season, and he walked 3 times. The Detroit Tigers first baseman, Jaime Candelario, would finish 3 for 5 with 2 runs on the day. Their second baseman, Nico Goodrum, would go 2 for 4 with an RBI and a run. And their left fielder, Emilio Bonifacio, would finish 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs on the day. With this win, the Detroit Tigers are 21-26 as the Kansas City Royals drop to 20-29. And going out to Milwaukee, the Milwaukee Brewers were able to kind of embarrass the St. Louis Cardinals, beating them 18-3. It would be their starting pitcher, Brett Anderson, who picked up his 3rd win of the season. He's 3-3 now as he allowed 2 earned runs and 6 innings pitched, striking out 3. Jack Flaherty, the elite pitcher from the St. Louis Cardinals, would allow 9 earned runs and 3 innings pitched, striking out 6 batters. What a crazy roller coaster of a game to kind of read out. But first, for the Cardinals, their second baseman, Tommy Edman, would go 2 for 4 with a run. Their elite first baseman, Paul Goldschmidt, would go 1 for 2 with 2 RBIs. And Paul DeJong would get the other RBI, finish 1 for 4 with an RBI. Going out to Milwaukee, their pinch hitting center fielder, Tyrone Taylor, would go 2 for 3 with an RBI and a run, as he had a pretty good game. Their elite left fielder, Christian Yelich, would go 3 for 4 with an RBI and 3 runs as he had his 10th home run of the season. Ryan Braun, their potentially asterisks Hall of Fame right fielder, would finish 1 for 2 with 2 RBIs and 2 runs. He had his 5th home run of the season. Keston Hiura, their second baseman, hit his 12th home run of the season as he went 1 for 4 with 4 RBIs and a run. Vogelbach with his 3rd home run of the season as the designated hitter, went 3 for 4 with 4 RBIs and 3 runs. A lot well going for the Brewers, but with this win, the Brewers are now 22-25 on the season, and the St. Louis Cardinals are 21-22. Going out to Chicago for a couple of good games. Starting out in the South Side, the Chicago White Sox would beat the Minnesota Twins 6-2. Dunning would pick up his 2nd win of the season as he allowed 1 earned run, 2 runs total, and 7 innings pitched, striking out 7 batters. And Randy Dobnak will pick up his 4th loss as he allowed 4 earned runs and a little over 4 innings pitched, striking out 4. He's now 6-4 on the season. And just looking at how the Twins did, their biggest contributor from the batting side was Byron Buxton, their center fielder, who finished 2 for 4 with 2 runs on the day. Looking at Chicago, their shortstop, Tim Anderson, will go 3 for 5 with an RBI and 2 runs. He hit his 8th home run of the season. Their catcher, James McCann, will hit his 6th home run as he finished 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs and 3 runs as well. Their first baseman, Jose Abreu, would go 3 for 4 with a run on the day, and their right fielder, Engel, would finish 2 for 4 with this win. The Chicago White Sox are 32-16, and the Minnesota Twins are 30-20. This might have been the first matchup between 2 30-win teams. And jumping to Wrigley Field, the Chicago Cubs were able to beat the Cleveland Indians 6-5 as Jeffress would pick up the win, as the Cubs kind of won it in the 9th inning off of a walk-off hit by pitch from Cameron Maybin. That was a crazy way to end the game. But the Cleveland Indians did battle their way back in. Francisco Lindor would hit a monster 2-run home run to tie the game in the 9th. But it would be just faulty pitching at the very end. And it just wouldn't be enough for them. They'd lose the game. Pretty sad. But jumping to the Cleveland Indians, their elite shortstop, Francisco Lindor, would have a game. He finished 3 for 4 with 4 RBIs and a run. And he now has 8 home runs on the season after that home run. Their right fielder, Tyler Naquin, will go 4 for 4 on the day. Their center fielder, Delino DeShields, will go 3 for 4 with 2 runs. And looking out to the Cubs, their elite third baseman, Chris Bryant, would go 1 for 3 with an RBI and 3 runs on the day. Their elite shortstop, Javi Baez, would go 1 for 3 with an RBI and 2 runs. He hit his 7th home run of the season. Anthony Rizzo, their first baseman, finished 3 for 4. Wilson Contreras finished 2 for 3 with an RBI on the day, and their second baseman Kipnis finished 2 for 4. With this walk-off win, the Chicago Cubs are now 29-20 in the National League Central, and the Cleveland Indians are now 26-22 in the AL Central. And with that said, looking out to today's games, it looks like Mike Fiers is going to try to get his 6th win as he takes on German Marquez. The Oakland Athletics take on the Rockies on ESPN Plus at 3:10. Dustin May is looking to get his 2nd one with the Dodgers, and he has a sub-3 ERA so far. He looks to take on Adrian Morejon, who also has a sub-3 ERA, as the Dodgers take on the Padres on ESPN at 4 o'clock. That's going to be a pretty big game. They have the 2 best records in the National League. Yet another 30-win matchup in the MLB so far. Moving down, Adam Wainwright is going to take on Brandon Woodruff as the Cardinals take on the Brewers, and both these pitchers are having a really good game, and that's the first game of their doubleheader. For the second game, the Cardinals haven't decided, but Brent Suter is going to make the start for the Brewers. And then for the Atlanta Braves, Cole Hamels is going to make his debut as he takes on Keegan Akin and the Baltimore Orioles at 7:35. Continuing on, just looking through, Luis Castillo is going to try to get his 3rd win after his last big performance as the Reds take on the Pirates at 6:40 as he looks to try to get his numbers back up. Jacob deGrom is going to take on Zach Wheeler as the Mets take on the Phillies at ESPN. Wheeler's 4-0 and deGrom is 4-1, and they're both pitching incredibly well. Garrett Cole's looking to get his 6th win of the season as the Yankees take on Tanner Roark in the Toronto Blue Jays. Brady Singer's looking to get his 3rd win as the Royals take on the Tigers at 7:10. Lucas Giolito's looking to go, he's 4-2, looking to get yet another win as the White Sox take on Jake Odorizzi and the Minnesota Twins. Lance McCullers Jr. is looking to get his 4th win for the Astros as they take on the Rangers at 8:10. John Lester is going to try to get his 3rd win for the Chicago Cubs. He takes on Aaron Savali and the Cleveland Indians at 8:15. Dylan Bundy is 5-2, and he looks to take on Caleb Smith and the Arizona Diamondbacks. And the last game of the night, it looks like LJ Newsome and the Seattle Mariners are going to take on Drew Smyly and the San Francisco Giants, as Drew Smyly is still looking to get his 1st win of the season. Same with LJ Newsome. But with that said, I really appreciate you for listening to all 27 minutes of this piece. Once again, it is Wednesday, September 16th. Not much going on today, but there's still sports going on, and I still recommend watching it. And I really appreciate you for listening to this piece. And once again, peace out. Hope all is well.